How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
How are you
Fantastic.
guys?
We're
Excellent.
doing great.
Hey,
It's so good to see you guys. And this topic this evening is so gonna be so good. You know, because a lot of people asking the questions about frequency, about vibration, about energy, about chakras. You know, but we are here, just to help them to understand a little bit more in depth about this ancient modality. You know, because we all carry the frequency. We all have frequencies. And many times we don't understand how to tune into that frequency. Because once we tap into that frequency, we become this radiant light, just moving and gliding through life, you know. But the beautiful thing is that within each of us lies this symphony of frequencies, and it vibrates and it echoes through our thoughts and emotions and intentions. And these energetic currents shape how we connect, how we heal, and how we evolve. Our body is a sacred place, it's very sacred. And the energy centers act as tuning forks for the inner music and guiding us towards alignment and vitality. So, this evening in this space, we'll explore how frequencies influence our emotional landscape, how the chakra holds the wisdom to our lived experience, and how the energy becomes the language of transformation. Whether you're seeking grounding, clarity, or expansion, this journey invites you to listen deeply to your body and how your body really operates. And we we tend to forget this beautiful source that we came from. We really tend to forget it. But when awakening happen, there is so many things unfold, and then we are able to understand more in depth about this whole structure. We are able to understand more how we can process our emotions, process these thoughts, and how we can change the, as I said before, the landscape and experience that transformation. And once we experience that transformation, we become aware of our environment, our values change, our boundaries change, and so many things start to unfold in our lives.
yeah.
And once we tap into that frequency, or before we tap into that frequency, sometimes you find your life become very chaotic. And sometimes you're asking yourself, why is this happening to me? You become very uncomfortable among people, all the energies that are not aligned with you, because remember, you're going into that space of awareness, you're going into that space of alignment. And once you start to shift in, you're going to shift into that space, that transition period of shifting. There is so many chaotic things going to start to be happening. And many times we don't understand that transition period, because remember, your frequency is changing. And once your frequency is changing, the people around you are going to change as well, because it's a different vibration level you're going to. Remember, you are evolving. And once you are evolving, those people, they can't evolve with you. And it's okay. They're there for a period of time. And they already served their time. They teach you the lessons you need to learn. And it's time for you to remove from that space now, because your frequency is changing. But you know what? I'm going to leave this for Will and for Soul to get more deeper into this subject area. I'm just touching the surface. They're going to get below the surface.
You did a good job, though. You already done the show. That's good. her out.
Thank you. So I'm gonna leave the rest for them. For us to really understand, you gotta stick around. You know, grab yourself a notepad and a pen, and just throw back and relax. And if you know someone who can benefit from this podcast this evening, just share them the link. Because when you come into this space, there's so many things that you can learn. You leave as, or a friend would say, Terrence, you would say, it's a buffet style. You take what you want and you leave what you don't want. Or if you know somebody who can benefit, you share it on to them. So I'm not going to take up much more time. I'm Lady K, holistic health and wellness coach, and a co-author of 2 books with my sister Joan. By now, you know it's your gut and you, and self-care is intentional. We also have two magazines, the digital and the hard copy. Mm-hmm. So whichever part of the world you're living, you can get the digital version. And you can subscribe. Their links are in the notes below. You can subscribe. And it's gonna come to your inbox, or if you're living in the United States, it's gonna come to your doorstep. And it's free of cost. You don't have to pay for it. So what are you waiting for?
Oh, really?
Will, have you subscribed?
Let me check on that. I believe I have.
Hope you did.
We got you on the spot, Will.
Yes, you do. I believe I subscribed though, but I'll check it.
Okay. We can know because we got the list. You know, we always got the list.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful magazine, and you're gonna really enjoy it. You know, it got some great articles inside. You know, and it got some great recipes as well inside. Thank you, Lady J. And you can. It's all about transformation and transition and evolution.
Change.
Because once you start to read things, you get to understand your process, you know, and you understand things on a more deeper level. It's all about understanding. So I'm going to toss the mic now to Lady J. Lady J, take the mic. Saul, welcome. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great opening as always. We are in the month of July. What are you tapping into? What are you tapping into? And this is a great subject we're talking about tonight because how are your frequency, your vibration, your energy? What do you bring to the table when you show up?
True.
What do people experience when they in an environment with you? What do they experience? What kind of level of energy do you bring? Is it low energy? Or is it energy that when you leave that conversation or you leave that phone call or the group or whatever it may be for the exchange, you feel good about it. You become elevated. Your frequency is being upgraded or level up. How are you moving through life? So this is a great subject we're talking about tonight because you're going to understand all about frequency. We got a specialist here and they're going to help us to move on life because we're in the 7th month. How are you going to close 2025? What are things that you're sitting on that you have the low energy and you're not really moving forward to that? You're not moving on that trajectory so that you can attain all the goals and all the aspiration that you enter 2025 with. Are you showing yourself love and compassion? Are you leaning into your inner wisdom? Are you letting that guide you as your inner compass? Are you following your intuition? Are you showing yourself grace when there's needed to be? Or are you hard on yourself? Are you showing yourself a level of gratitude on a daily basis for those amazing people who you are surrounded with? And for yourself, you're here, you made it this far. You've come through failures. You came through rejection. You came through the nose. But you're able to use that and propel you forward and redirect you to attain what you're going after in life. Are you nourishing and nurturing yourself? That's why we wrote the book, Self-Care is Intentional. and your gut in you. Because it's very important in order to achieve all the things that we are maybe thinking of, our goals we're going after in life. We have to nourish ourselves, put the right kind of food in our bodies, focus on our microbiome so we can have good gut health. Because then we eliminate brain fog, fatigue, tired. So when we show up, we can show up at our all because we're strong, we're well, we're able, we have the level of vitality. And are you nurturing the other aspect of your life? Your spirituality, your physical activity, your environment. Are you decluttering your environment? Does every room in your home represent what it is? Is there the level of space that you can navigate easily? Because how our outer is reflects our inner. What are you going after? Because whatever is it that you looking forward in life, you have to become that. Takes one step at a time. You have what it takes. Tap in. Keep tapping in. Because sometimes you are stronger than you think. Remind yourself who you are. You're special and you are amazing. And you have that unique gift for them. What are your I ams? What are you saying to yourself on a daily basis? Your inner dialogue. What do you say to yourself on a daily basis? And what follows your I am is super important. So, as we say tonight, congratulations for all the bold moves that you're making. All the bold moves you're making, the steps you're taking so that you can live fully and live your best, your true essential self. So that is why we have a great topic for you tonight, which we're going to talk about frequency and energy. So you can able to understand and navigate in all those spaces so that you can live your best. Because the ultimate goal for all of us is that we want to live our best. We want to be our best. And to attain that, there are certain ingredients have to bake into the cake. So to have a good cake, when it's already baked and we can enjoy it, let's put those right ingredients in so that we can have the ultimate great taste.
Like that one, Lady J.
Thank you very much.
That was a good one.
We very much appreciate it. So thank you all for subscribing. Thank you for purchasing our books. Thank you for signing up for our magazine. Thank you for tuning in, because everything we do is with you in mind. So we just want to give you gratitude in this moment and just send you love and continue to support us. And as we continue to support you and the great conversations we do have with you behind the scenes, it's just amazing. So thank you. And we got two amazing guests in this house this evening who are no strangers to the platform, but those who are new to joining us tonight. We just want you to welcome them because they are truly amazing. They are creating great impact in the world and are changing lives on a daily basis. So, Soul and Will, welcome. It's truly a joy to have you both here with us. And with such a great topic you both are going to present to us tonight. Thank you for being here. My name is Lady J, Holistic Health and Wellness Coaching, among other things. So we're going to jump right in and talk about frequencies and energies and all vibration and all those great things that you may have a lot of, you might have some misconception. You might want to talk about the science about it, but you're in the right place tonight, so, and it will be delivered to you. You'll be served well. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Thank you. Soul, it's always a pleasure.
Well. Thank you so much for having me. Let's start there.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to say, I've read both of your books, and to anybody who's interested, I highly, highly recommend both of them. Part of the reason that we're not as strict and serious about our health is because a lot of people don't understand the biology behind it. And I think that the way that you both broke it down in these books really gives you a better understanding on how it works inside the body, so people can actually understand what's going on and how these things that we're not doing right are affecting us and why.
True.
So I just had to commend you really quick before we go any further, and let everybody know that if you have not gotten that book, please do so. It's such an important and great book. Yes, absolutely. Both of them.
And before we go any further, Sam, so you're glowing,
Oh
Yeah, you look beautiful and amazing. Goddess.
You're glowing, girl. Is the frequencies?
they're up there.
Yep. It's obvious.
Oh man. Thank you.
Will?
Yes. I was listening to the conversation. You cut me off there.
Yeah.
I was listening, give it all the accolades. So I was listening to that.
Oh, it's well deserved.
Yes, it is. I thank you guys for inviting me to be a part of this conversation. This is going to be a really good show. When we talk about frequency, as all three of you have now kind of alluded to, there are so many different aspects of it that people, that's where the confusion comes in at, because it's all the same thing, but since there's different definitions involved in it, people get confused and think that it doesn't affect them or they can't impact their lives by utilizing what frequency is. But they do it on a natural basis and just don't know it. So as we get into this conversation, we're going to, I'm sure, explain in detail how, regardless of whether you want to use it or not, you do. And so if you're going to use it, you might as well know what it actually is. Then you can take that and flip it into how you can utilize that to benefit. Instead of it just, pass it over you and you're like, there's no big deal. I don't know what it is anyway. So what am I losing? So this is going to be a good conversation. I'm looking forward.
Yeah. So
absolutely, Will. I cannot wait to get into it. Just so everybody knows, I actually use frequency therapy in my sessions with a wonderful device that scans your aura field to let me know what you're actually emitting, because we are all energetic beings. So regardless of whether you realize it or not, you emit energy all the time. And that's kind of for people that don't really understand that, when you feel good vibes or bad vibes, it's because that's the energy they're giving off, right? And that's literally, that can actually be recorded, right? So whatever that is, there's a certain frequency that you're giving off, and that can be recorded. So let me show you guys really quick, just so you know that we're here in the Jetson times. All right. I don't know, maybe I'm telling my age, but I don't know if you guys remember the Jetsons.
You look amazing.
Thank you. But back in those days, they would show how they would scan people, right? They would scan them, and then we'd get everything there. And this little device right here actually does that for me, and it's amazing. And I feel privileged to actually be in a time where I see this technology come to life. Just to give you a little history, back in the 1940s, there was actually a lot of doctors and workers that were actually working with frequency therapy and helping a lot of people. The problem is that in that time, the pharmaceutical company also started to emerge, right? And so not sure if you guys are familiar with Albert Einstein and Nikola Tesla. Two of my favorite scientists from back that time. So Nikola Tesla, this device that I now have is actually made with his research. Now, he passed away in 1946. And here we are finally in 2025, even though I started using this maybe 4 years ago now. So I'll say 2021, with his research in my hands, right? With a device that was made with his work from back then. So back then they called him crazy, shut it down, because of how powerful, what he was saying was. And just to go show you like how beyond his time he was.
Mm-hmm.
So even back then they knew, like Albert Einstein always said, the future of medicine is vibrations, frequency, and resonance. Here we are today, finally, people understanding and emerging with this technology that is actually allowing us to use it to help people heal. It's amazing. And I would say one of the most beautiful things, because I'm a Reiki master as well. So let me just let people know I'm a Reiki master. I'm a certified sound healer. So all this thing that we're going to talk about frequencies, yes, we are going to educate people on how you're being manipulated by certain frequencies during the day when you don't even realize it.
True.
By listening to music, by certain things you're watching, by, hello, they know what they're doing, right? So it's time
into
for
the subconscious mind.
Thank you. It's time for us to become aware of those things so we are not easily manipulated and we actually understand what this is causing within us and to us, right? And how we can actually play a part, just like Will said, on how to use this to our advantage. So yeah, imagine like the beauty about this, right? As a Reiki master, I would scan you with my hand, right? And I feel the energy. You can feel it. And you'd actually remove energy blocks and things like that, which I love. I love doing that. That's amazing. You get a personal experience. But with this, I literally get to scan your whole biofield, right? And I get to know what's going on with you on a holistic level, spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional, all in one. So we're bypassing the conscious mind and we're actually able to pick up what frequencies you're emitting and go directly to the root of what is causing the blocks. What is going on and what is blocking you from moving forward? What has you stagnant? What are emotional roots that are even causing ailments? Because as we know on the holistic world, right, ailments are not genetic. You can't really say they're genetic. You can't blame genetics. You can blame what you're eating. You can blame how you're dealing with your stress, right? And what you're allowing in your environment, right? And I say that because at the end of the day, stress is the main cause of why we're all in the state of being that we are. I believe you guys broke down. Did you guys break down in the books as well how the nervous system and how it's affected by stress? I believe so, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Guys, I'm telling you, you need this book because I stress this all the time. Our nervous system is super stimulated, hyper stimulated in the world that we're living in. And part of what they do is cause this chaos so we can be in a state of fear. That is also a frequency. All right. Fear is definitely a negative frequency that a lot of us are living in. And I'll give you a quick trick. If you just take a deep breath, right? Here, how about we all try it so we can show everybody? I want you guys to start noticing this because you have power in doing this. So just take a regular breath and notice what part of your body moves. Just breathe. Now, I'll ask each one of you, what part of your body moves when you take that breath?
You feel it in your diaphragm.
You feel it in your diaphragm.
Yes.
Okay, great. How about you, Joanne? Lady J, I'm sorry.
I feel it right back at my spine.
You feel it
when
in
I
your
pull.
spine. Okay, Will?
Diaphragm.
Your diaphragm. All right, fantastic. Now, actually, that is the goal. Our goal is to actually feel the breath in our diaphragm. A lot of people are breathing and you can see they're breathing from their lungs, right? You'll see their shoulders move up, move down. Now, guys, if you're breathing from your lungs, just know that your state of being is in fear. So that's just a biohack, right? So everybody just start being aware of that. If you are breathing from your lungs and it's not through your stomach and your diaphragm, then you are in a state of fear. Now, you have control over this. Body language is amazing because now you get to know what's going on. So that's one way you can find out if you're actually acting in a state of fear. And if so, it's not good to make decisions in this state because
True.
Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to become aware because awareness is key to everything. Once you notice that, I want you guys to actually command the body to actually fall. So you're going to command your breath to go down through your stomach and you're going to tell yourself, I refuse to be in the state of fear. And it is so. And literally breathe in and you push it down into your diaphragm. Your stomach should be able, as you're breathing in, your stomach should be coming out. Okay. And as you're breathing out, your stomach should be coming in. And that's how you know you're actually breathing through your diaphragm. Now, that's when you know you're in control. And you can start from there. I think that a basic thing that I tell everybody through my brain. All right, Chandra.
Hi, Chandra.
A thing that I tell everybody is, first of all, let's become aware of what's going on around us, right?
Sure.
A lot of us are talking about holistic health and how we can get better. Guys, the basics are some of these things that we're telling you right now. Nutrition, as Lady J said, is super, super important, especially here in the United States. I don't know where you guys are in the world and where you're listening from. A lot of other countries have already put a lot of things on the labels saying high sugars, high this, high that, right? To let you know, please beware. Not here. Because if they keep us sick, then they get rich. All right. Let's just be honest. We need to do better, though, by knowing better. And the only way by doing that is becoming aware of what we're actually ingesting, right? And what effects that actually has on our body. So I would definitely advise that you get into that nutritional side, because honestly, if you're looking to get better or lose weight, yes, exercise is important, but 80% of you being able to manage your weight and your health is how you're eating. Just be aware of that. And that can also make you feel a little high, a little better, a little lower. Just like she said, brain fog, stuff like that will definitely irritate you. There's so much to touch on the frequencies and resonance and vibrations. Did you want to touch on anything specific, Will, before I keep going? Because this is where my passion lies.
I can hear that. I can hear that. Definitely. That's why I told at the top this is going to be a good show, see, because I knew you were going to roll with it. So I'm like the audience right now. I'm absorbing the information too. Let me say this before you, because I want you to finish.
Please.
Okay, you mentioned this already, but people, may have been trying to close up their ears when you started talking about it affects their daily life and music and so forth they listen to. Some of them probably did that real quick, but frequency is in every single thing that you do. You can't get away from it. And, like you mentioned science and quantum physics now, they've quantified this. They know that everything, even us speaking right now, that's a form of frequency. And, when I speak, I talk about this a lot because in John, I always go spiritual wise with this and go into the religious aspect of it for the people who are religious. But in John 3:8, Jesus says, spirit is wind. And what I've talked about it probably in the last couple of weeks or so that I've been a guest on the show, talked about how now they understand that consciousness is basically in the wind, so you can't get away from anything that we're mentioning. It's around you and you're part of it. You are a frequency yourself. As Soul mentioned, your body has energy coming off of it. And so there's no way for you to not want to understand what you really are and what you can actually do with what you really are. That's where the tricky stuff comes in, ladies, because people don't, they want to push all of this self-contained, what word do I want to use here? Things that they can pretty much do for themselves. They push it to an outside deity to, hey, look out for me, take care of me, protect me. But it's you. It's you. It's all going to come back to you. And so before I throw it back to Soul here, I want to mention this because we just both said that frequency is in everything and it's everywhere. But even animals have a frequency that they pick up. Like with dogs, they can hear things that we can't hear on a frequency level. And so people think that, and they can see things that we can't see. But that comes back to this whole thing of where religion and spirituality ties into this, because there is a separate world from the one that you see physically. And this is what you completely miss out on some people in the audience do, is they think that they are actual physical beings, but you are a spirit because you are a frequency. All this stuff that you see is not even real. It's all you basically are creating it as you go. And so I know when we start speaking in context of that, that kind of goes over your head a little bit because some people start getting lost because they live in the physical sense and they think that this is really what it is. But the more you know about this, as we move further into the future, and now with AI coming on board, you're going to need to know this information in order to actually exist here. Because if you don't, you're going to get caught up and be looking for things to lead you. And like I said before, AI already has a religion with its own Bible that it wrote itself, with almost 1 million people following it.
Wow.
And the AI that's about to come out is going to be able to create images in your living room or space or wherever you are. When that technology hits where everybody has access to it, you can have your God sitting, that you consider God, sitting right next to you. So whatever projection AI is going to take from you, because you're basically your AI feeding it the information that it needs, it's going to project whatever image that you want to see. And that's basically what's happening right now, but you just don't understand it from that context because you've been told all these different stories and allegories, and you're confused on what's real and what's not. So you think everything is outside of you, but it's all happening within you because you are a frequency yourself. Now, so I want to toss it back to you so you can finish what you were saying, and then we can, just weave it in and out of the conversation as we go. This is going to be a fast show. I can feel that because there's going to be so much information and interaction between the four of us that this is going to be more like maybe an hour-long show when it's actually going to be a 2-hour show. But we're already deep into it, but this is going to go really quick. But back to you. Go ahead.
Oh man, and you just touched on some things that I gotta get on. They don't even realize how deep it's about to get. They don't even realize how deep it's about to get. Well, but just to keep it on a broad tip, yes, absolutely, guys. This is systemic, right? The reality is they've created all these systems to keep us trapped and to control us. Because if we're not aware and we're just following a system, then of course they have the full control over us. We're in chaos. If you look at the world right now, I don't watch the news. Why?
Me too.
Guys, honestly, listen, to each its own, but I'm telling you right now. Yes, to each its own. But the reality is that news is chaos. It's to keep you in a state of fear. Why? Because that is what catches your attention most. Yes. Right? The reality is that negativity is what catches most humans' attention.
Yes.
Right. And if that's what they're broadcasting, then of course that's going to have you like this, but it's also going to have your heart like this, your nervous system like this, and all these things that are going to affect you in a negative way. Right. So I understand it's important to be aware, but also what can you do? I'm really there's so many things going on that I would love to be a part of, but I can't help, what's going on in the other side of the world. And it's kind of unfair for me to worry about even the chaos here in the United States. Like, it's a little crazy right now, but I got to focus on making sure that my mindset is right, right? That I'm staying positive, that my frequency is right, that I'm, consistent with where I'm at and with what I want to produce in my life. And if I allow these outside things to control me, or, to take control of how I feel, then they're in control, not me. Sure. And I personally can't allow that. Right.
That's so super important. Sorry, but that's super important that you're mentioning that, because when you absorb everything in, then one would say, well, what can I do? So that's why you you have to focus on yourself, your mind, your mental, so that you can move in a level of clarity to attain what you're going after, your goals and your dreams and everything else for your well-being.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, please. No sorries here. No sorries here. We're all jumping off of each other. All right. I love this.
Yeah. The thing is that when we become aware of our environment, that really helps us to really understand who we are.
Yeah.
Because as you rightfully said, both Saul and Will, when you make that conscious choice, because we all have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
We all have a choice. When you make that conscious choice that I am going to tune into this or I'm going to tune into that, it's a frequency you're tuning into,
Right.
right? It's a frequency. You always have to remember
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're tuning into, it's a frequency. If you're having a conversation with someone else, it's a frequency.
Of course.
You're exchanging with that individual. It's a frequency. It's an energy you're exchanging. So let's say you're having a conversation with someone and it's a lower frequency than your frequency. It becomes very uncomfortable because your frequency is higher, but that person is dealing on a lower frequency. So when that happens, you become very uncomfortable, you become very frustrated. But again, you have the choice if you want to sit there and observe that frequency, or you want to say, you know what, this conversation is not for me,
Right.
and just eliminate yourself from that type of
Right.
conversation. It's okay to do that. It's okay to respect your frequency. You have the choice to respect your frequency, because many times we are tolerating things that our frequency and our soul don't want to tolerate. But we have a choice to say, you know what? I respect what you're saying, but at this point in time, I'm not going to tolerate this conversation with you.
Right.
It's okay for you to say that. You don't have to stifle yourself to
Right.
be in a conversation with someone. Come on, Saul, talk to us.
I love
But-
it. I'm
but-
like, yes,
but-
girl,
but-
keep
but-
going. I'm like,
Thank you
yes.
for saying that to me, because that is why we did the show. I think we did with Irene, where we talk about people pleasing.
Yeah.
I mean, gossiping, we're already at a low frequency, right? If you're gossiping, you're right. Let's be honest. How many people
Good.
get on the phone and you start
Real
gossiping,
talk.
you're talking
Real
about others,
talk.
but think about what you're saying and why you're gossiping, because most
Absolutely.
are reflections, honey. So just be aware. Why are you talking about another person? We are all human. We all have troubles. We all have tribulations. We all
We
have
make
obstacles. We're all
mistakes.
going through something.
Right. We're going through something.
All of us. So to sit there and talk about somebody, it's just really a bad reflection on yourself if you realize that, because there's something that you are either envying or
Right.
that you don't even realize is being reflected because something's wrong with you that you're saying, that you're doing.
Yeah.
So just
yeah.
start
So
reflecting, guys, when you want to gossip. Also, if you hear the phone ring and you see that person and you cringe,
And you cringe.
don't answer that phone. Because you guys are laughing because you know it's true. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really want to answer this call. You know it. So your body's already telling you.
So you're odd, but it's giving you the signal. It's giving you the signal. Right. Right. It's giving you the
Totally.
signal.
Yes.
So why is it you're feeling that way? There is something.
Right. Absolutely.
You mentioned it.
So pay
Karen,
attention.
Yeah, what you say, Will?
you just mentioned why you feel that way, because
The
through
frequency.
chant or group speak, or those are frequencies, right? And so whenever
Right.
you get two people or more together, it creates the same energy. You embracing the energy of the other, so it becomes a group thing. That's how, like in sports, like in my sports team, we always had chants and so forth. And they, some of the players understood what it was, because if you've been playing since you were a little kid growing up, you understand that motivates you somewhat type of way. And it's contagious. The kid next to you, or the man next to you on a professional level, the more of that type of thing that you do, even if those people don't want to participate, eventually it sucks them into it and they start to become a part of the group. That's how you build a camaraderie of a team from a sports standpoint, is you have to get everybody emotionally involved in the context of the energy of the team itself. And then it starts to take on its own entity, to where it becomes a living thing. So whatever that mascot is, it lives through those players at
Right.
that time. And so just like with this show here, there's a certain energy that's generated from this show. And if you come on this show and you get put in a position where like Karen and Joan are conversating back and forth, like they're just part of the conversation. And if you feel uncomfortable when they come to you and pitch to you as part of it, you're out of pocket because you just want to present, but you don't understand. This show is like a conversation, which makes for a better type of interview. Because when you do interviews, and not very few people can actually do this. It takes a skill to do this, but very few people can engage you in a conversation and interview you at the same time. That takes a skill set where you don't have a set,
True.
you know,
True.
organized list of questions you want to ask them. You're just having a conversation. And if you can do that, then you can see the person's whole personality come out and they can really present like Soul is doing right now. She's really presenting this in a matter of just having a conversation with a group of friends. And so everybody that's watching this show live can feel as they're sitting in her living room or in a room with the four of us and they're part of the conversation. It's very few people can do that, transfer that type of energy. But remember, all of us are nothing more than frequency. So all of this energy is being transferred back and forth all the time. But we are aware of it, right? But at the top of the show, you mentioned that sometimes people can connect with someone and they can't connect back because they're, like Karen just said, they're not on the same level. So their frequency is different.
Right.
And so that's why you miss out on some of the things that are going to be pitched to you that's going to be good for you coming from this person because you can't see it. You're like, oh, well, that worked for them, but I don't, unless you
Right.
take me
Right.
right to the
You
front
know
door
energy right there.
and
Right.
set me down and really introduce me to this person, I can't go and pitch to them. So you can get me in the door all you want to, but I can't close. And that's why they turn around and they get mad at you because they are not up to what they want. And that, want and desire are two different things. And we're going to talk about this as we go through. But want and desire are part of this too, because a lot of people come into this and they want instead of needing. If you need, then you're going to connect. But if
Yeah.
you won't,
True.
you will not, because the person that's already at that level can't understand that. Because that's not where they are. They know that they reached that point because they needed to. And at the time that you need it,
True.
that's when your frequency is going to rise and take you through those doors that Jones like to talk about. The door's going to be there and things are going to start, people will start coming back towards you to take you where you're trying to go. But it's because you need it, not because you want it. You can want it all day long and say all the manifestations and
Right.
prayers and beg, if you're God, if
Right.
that's what you're doing, it's not going to happen for you. But if you need it, you speak it, and then you start to progress toward it. And those things will gradually start to happen for you. Everybody else on the outside can't see it. They think you're still not doing anything. But
Right.
you know that people are starting to open doors for you to get you into that next level that you're trying to go to because you need them to do so. Those people are appear in your life, and that's on the
True.
frequency level. It starts to
True.
tie together
Yeah.
and it happens, right? And so there's just so many levels to this, and I'm glad that we're
It
into
really
this part of
is.
the conversation. We're getting there. We're getting there. And one last
It's
thing I want to mention
it
too,
really
because
is.
people feel lost, right? I'm gonna throw a little military perspective into this. We have stealth equipment now, right? Where we have stealth planes and all this kind of stuff, right? That's on a frequency. Those stealth jets or bombers that we have that are flying, they are stealthy because of the frequency that they emit. They are not, when they're on their radios talking back to people at headquarters and so forth and giving the information, they've masked their frequency to where it's not pitching out to where people can pick up there. Okay, it's something up there. We don't know what it is, but somebody's flying in our airspace. They can't pick that up because they've changed the frequency of it by masking it. So it's covered, and that means that they're not on the same level that the defending military is on. They're above them. And so they can't pick it up. So that's why when we just did this recent level of bombing that we didn't need to do, but we did that, those people weren't prepared for that because they couldn't see us coming because it's a different frequency. Our planes are masked and they couldn't pick that up. And so that's why, we all have said this now, but we're going to keep saying this. Every single day that you get out of your bed and start to interact with others in this world, you're doing so on a frequency level. And
Yes.
if you
Yes.
understand that you're doing that, you
Yes.
change that frequency to where now you can start to tap into it. And you're going to need that as this economy is changing now and starting to move away from being just a capitalistic economy. You're going to need this kind of inside stuff because that's what they've been doing is keeping it secret from you. But if you know what this is and know how to use it, there are going to be no doors closed to you. You're going to be able to participate in the new economy, which is going to be more solution based, socialized. It's going to almost be like you're going to want to help somebody, and the only way you're going to be able to sell products and services to them is because you're going to be helping them. You're not going to sell it on novelty anymore. They're not going to buy your stuff because you got some celebrity. Hey, look at me! I got to look good. I look in this. That's not going to sell it any longer. You're going to have a solution. And even if you look real closely, and I'm going to shut up after this, real closely, what's happening on the internet right now is out we've been in an entertainment bubble, right? Where all the information or videos is put out there, like on TikTok and so forth, all those have been basically built around entertainment. You know, look at me, I'm dancing, I'm doing a silly thing. That's starting to move out. And what's gonna be happening is now, as I just mentioned, you're gonna have to have some type of solution
Mm-hmm.
information, entertainment, video. That's what's going to move to the forefront. The algorithm is not about who's following you anymore either. I don't care if you have 200,000 followers right now, that's nothing because the algorithm is going to start being your biggest follower that you need to know because that's going to be pushing your information out to people who really need that information. So it's not going to be so much of just me signing on and following you. It's going to be, building up numbers for you. That means nothing now. What's going to be happening and what you need to know right now to start moving toward this before the internet switches over completely. That's why YouTube is kicking people out of YouTube that have big followings and they're cursing on YouTube video. I don't know why they're doing this to me. It's horrible. I just got a plaque last week. What the hell is going on YouTube? I need to move over because that algorithm is starting to pitch them out like, okay, you've been doing this for like 2 years now. That's all you got. Okay, we need something better from you, but they can't adjust to move to the next level of it because they've been too busy entertaining people. That's not going to get you views anymore. It's not even going to be about views either. It's going to be about what does your information have that can offer a solution to somebody who needs that solution. That's what's going to push you up to the forefront. So all these people that's at the top right now, they're about to switch positions. So if you're creating videos or information, create information that's going to be more for
Solution
solution
oriented.
than something other than entertainment. You're not going to be able to just entertain people. That's you've already that era is over. Just like with the make something great again, that era is not coming back. That's over with. Only people that's caught up in that are people that still want to protect the gatekeepers and hold on to their position. That's over. You're gonna get pushed aside whether you want to go or not. You can look at our current president and see that all of this stuff that he's doing is not going to save him. He's going to get pushed aside because we're in a new era, and if you're not rolling with the new era, you're going to get ran over because you can't stop it. That's what's happening. So all these small countries that have taken all the stuff over years and years and years of being pushed down and told what to do, bombing them is not going to save you. You're still going to get dismissed because countries who have the same stuff that you do, I mentioned this before, they're going to help these smaller countries out and let them get to a level to where they can protect themselves. And all they need is one nuclear bomb to do that. You see, we're not bombing North Korea or anybody because they can shoot off nukes, and we don't want no part of those. So when Iran now pushes the U.S. to a side and join the new economy, which is going on right now, Africa and countries like that are starting to team up, and their economy is growing. These countries are moving to the top. The U.S. is moving down. That's where we're headed right now. If you're in the U.S., that's going down. But as they move down on a lower frequency, you as an individual now, this is your opportunity because there are cracks where the system is not going to be able to hold you down and keep you where you were. If you want this, now is your time to start making arrangements to do that. Remember what I said before? AI can take one person can take an AI and become a billionaire. One person. All he's going to need is the infrastructure around that. But his front office, her front office, is going to be AI related, where that AI can make sales calls, pitch if you needed to pitch. All you need to do is do the paperwork for it. And we're going to see, we already have one CEO that's an AI. You're going to see a lot more AI CEOs coming up too, like a lot of these overpaid, 30, 40 million dollars a year CEOs, they're going to get dismissed too because you don't need them. The workers actually make that company go. This person that's sitting at the top is just a figurehead. You don't need a figurehead any longer. AI can do all of those things for you far better than a human can because it can process all that information much faster. It can gather that data, put it in a context, and you're not waiting 2 weeks for this guy to make a decision on it. The AI can do it in 30 minutes and like, hey, this is how we're going to sell this. This is what we need to say to pitch it. This is how it's going to scale. And that's it. That's it.
Technology for you.
Yeah. So this is good. This is really good. Now I'm done, and I'm going to pitch it back to you.
Yeah. Wow.
Quite a mouthful.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Very true, though.
It
on
is.
point with
It
everything.
is.
On point with everything. So I just wanted to throw some things back based on what you said. All right.
Okay.
All right. So he stated, right, if you are wanting, right, I just want to throw it on the frequency tip.
Right.
If you are wanting something, you are in the frequency of lack.
Right. That's so true. That is
You
so
know what's
true.
coming after
Speak
that?
it again.
So
Speak
true.
it again.
Say that again. Somebody need to hear that.
Okay. So if you are wanting something, you are in the frequency of lack, which is a low vibrational frequency. And that is not going to help you attain what you are desiring. So it's words, they're powerful, and how we state them, it's giving a command to our brain on what's actually going to present in the physical world. So it's very important that we watch what we say and how we say it. And remember,
your dialogue.
It's not just what you say, because if you can say something out of your mouth, but if your belief system is different inside,
True.
God knows that, your higher power, your spirit, knows that. So it's still in your subconscious and you're still emitting that frequency. That's why mindset is so important, and it must change in order for your physical world to change. Some of us are like, I'm doing all this work. Yeah, but do you believe it yet?
Right. Do you believe it?
They don't.
How is your
Do
belief
you believe
system?
it? How is your belief system?
Yes, your belief system.
That's why I'm so glad you mentioned mindset. Sorry, go ahead, Lady K.
No, go ahead, Lady J.
No, you go.
That is why a lot of times people say, oh, I'm saying this affirmations and it's not working.
Right.
I'm not seeing nothing happening in my life. This is a complete waste of time. It can't happen because you're saying something and you're not matching that frequency. You're not matching that energy.
Right.
And if you're not matching it, it's separately. You're saying one thing and internally here,
right,
you are thinking something is, how is this gonna happen? Where it's gonna come from? What really gonna happen when I say this? If you start to be processing all of these thoughts, you're not matching what you're saying.
No.
So if you're this individual and you saying all of these affirmations and then you're realizing, something, these things are not working, you gotta sit with yourself and you gotta process these thoughts, these internal thoughts, these internal conflicts, because a lot of times we are living in a prison. We are living in a prison. We gotta break free from those chains and we gotta allow ourselves to live. Absolutely. And not just live, you gotta align with yourself to live. You gotta align with your soul to live and to live authentically, because many times you're just living, you're not living authentically, you're not aligned with your soul. Your soul screaming, this is what I want you to do, but you're not aligning with that. Right. And if you don't align with that, it just can't work. You could beat up yourself till you get blue. It ain't gonna happen.
It won't happen.
It can't happen. You know, one thing we gotta realize is that we are here for a reason. We are here to process certain things so that we could be awakened. When we came into this world, we came in as little children, but our soul know exactly what it came here for.
Right.
And the only way you can really understand your soul, you have to be awakened.
Of
Once
course.
that light bulb comes on,
That's it.
that is a moment that you get the
Mhm.
clarity that you're looking for. But in order for that light bulb to come on, you got to go through different experiences.
Of
It
course.
don't happen just like that. The flick of the light, like how you turn on the switch in your house. It don't
Mhm.
happen like that. Before you get current in your house, it comes from somewhere else. Am I correct?
Mhm.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
gotta come through before it reach to you. So in that process, what gotta come through? It gotta come through before the light switch turns on. But a lot of times we just want to turn the switch on and don't want to go through the process. You
Right.
know, we gotta understand that we gotta condition ourselves, that we got to go through these different experiences. We gotta go through these different processes, these different transitions. It's gonna be chaotic. You're gonna get meltdown. You're gonna cry. You're gonna scream. Just do it.
Yes.
Just do
Yes.
it. Let it out, because those are tensed energy that is in there. You keep suppressing it all the time. If you gotta
Right.
scream, scream. If you whatever, to get that out from in here,
Release, release, release.
release.
You got to get the release.
And once you get that out from in here, you're gonna feel light. You're gonna get clarity. But another thing, you gotta learn to listen,
Yeah.
The
because
whisper.
many times we don't listen.
Right.
We ignore, we don't listen, because our higher self speaks to us all the time.
Yeah.
And another thing too, sometimes we're asking for clarity on a lot of things. And sometimes somebody show up in your life and trying to give you the clarity, but you shutting it down because you don't want to hear. But then another thing too, many times you're not ready yet.
That's
You're
Right.
not
right. You're not
prepared for
prepared.
that as yet.
Right.
Right.
So if you're not ready, you're gonna shut it down until you're ready. And you cannot force anyone. This
No.
process is not about
Mhm.
forcing anyone, because many times people would say, yes, I am ready, but are you really ready for this process of healing?
Mhm.
Are
Mhm.
you really ready to go on that next frequency that your soul is calling for? You got to be ready. You got to be prepared. You got to go through the pain. It's painful.
Yeah.
Each one of us can tell you it's painful. It's not something easy. It's painful. Go ahead, soul.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I gotta say something on what you just said because it's so true. Like we have a lot of resistance on that because our brain, right, is always
Mhm.
going to try to keep us where we're comfortable.
Right.
And changing your identity and going into your highest self and taking that action to bring us to that new identity takes work. Everything that
That's
she
Yes.
take
just
work.
said, all of that you're going to work. This is where the pain is going to come on. It takes discipline to
Yes.
Right.
continue doing something that we're not comfortable doing because we're not
Right.
used to it. But
Right.
that going through that process is what brings us on
Yes.
the other side. And
Yes.
Right.
it's so important. I just had to
It,
say that real quick.
yeah.
That's good.
Lady
That's
J,
super
That's good.
important
I like
because
that point, soul.
because I mean there is where the growth and evolution is.
Mhm.
When you can get to that level and you can experience that, then you can look back and say, the hard work, everything you've been through, everything that you never arrived, but the space that you're in, you can see the results, and it makes you stronger because you've been through the experience. It learned you so much, right? You're wiser. You can make better choices,
Yeah.
better decision. And I just want to jump back to say that when we're creating and when we're trying to manifest, what kind of emotions are we attaching to that? Because in order to get the outcome that our desires are, there can't be any kind of doubt there. Because that's why our belief system has got to be strong enough
Strong.
that I
Yeah.
know what I'm asking for, that I'm capable enough to receive it, to put yourself in that space to receive it, and then living from the end, which is super important because you're already seeing what it would be like and how you would feel like. What would it feel like for whatever it's you asking for? What would it feel like when you get it? How do you feel? And just putting all those emotion into that with that level of joy, that level of fun in that moment, whatever that is that you might be asking for, which it puts you in a state of readiness. It puts you in a state of preparedness. So when you finally get it, because you really get what you asked for, right? And are you prepared in the moment to really receive that,
True.
whatever that may be? Are you ready? Are you really fully ready
True.
that when it come to you, that you really can enjoy it to the fullest?
And
That is right.
Lady J, I just want to button a little bit here. Many
Sure.
times, we are asking for things,
Mm-hmm.
but are we willing to go through the process for what we are asking for?
Right. That's a good one too.
Because many
Sure.
times we could say we want this, we want that, we
Mm-hmm.
want this, we want that. But there is a process for you to get something. It don't just arrive just like that.
No.
You got to go through the process to get it.
Yeah.
And the
And to
process
keep it
called
too.
true. And to keep
That's
it.
right.
And
That's
to
right.
keep it.
Getting there is one thing, keeping it a whole nother. But you have to level up.
You got to level up.
You
Will.
You know what?
Yeah,
I
you
have a
gotta
little
level up.
trick for what you were saying, Lady J. I have a little trick for everybody that would like to live from the end to today, right? How you said you got to go from the end. So here's a little biohack for that. And it takes journaling, right? But it's a specific type of journaling. It's called the perfect day journaling. And I learned this from a coach when I was first starting to meditate. And it really changed my life because as years pass by, save these journals, guys, because it will be your evidence when they finally show up in your life. Like, holy crap, I'm living this. Yes. Now, how this goes is, you get up, whenever, set some time aside. 10 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes. You can't see. You think you don't have the time. You always do. Remember that you make your time, and you have to schedule it accordingly. So where we see what matters to you most. But I highly recommend you try this. 5 minutes a day. Try doing your perfect day. How does this work? Imagine what your perfect day would look like. Okay. And write as if it is today.
Okay.
If today
Beautiful.
was your perfect day, how would you wake up? And I'm talking about get detailed. All
Yeah,
right.
you got to be detailed. Very
You gotta be
specific.
detailed. Yes. Get into. I woke up out of my king size bed and my silk sheets
Go there.
rubbing off me like butter. Okay.
Go there.
Sliding off my body. That's
Yes.
the type of details I am
Yes.
talking about. I am going into my 20-foot, 40-foot yacht. Okay.
Yes.
Get into details. I threw on my long, beautiful gold gown, whatever. Listen, get detailed and get in there and start feeling it, right? Because once you start writing it, you get excited and you're like,
Yes,
yeah,
you get excited,
Ooh,
right?
I'm doing this.
That
I
feeling.
jumped into my Corvette or my Porsche or my BMW truck or my VX90, whichever one you like, write it down, right? And write the perfect day. I'm talking about from beginning, like you wake up, okay, to the minute you go back to sleep. Write it down and journal like that. 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, guys. Take the time to do this, and you will. I promise you, and I'm living proof of this. You will start to see these things.
I know Will is the same thing to living proof. That's the truth.
Yeah.
It is the truth.
And it may take years, guys. It's not something that happens overnight, right? It takes time.
It takes time.
But it works.
As you set the pattern.
Right.
As you set that pattern, and I'm so glad you touch and go much deeper into that you're writing it clear, you're touching the emotion, you feel the feelings of that. Right. The joy, the excitement. What does it feel like?
Yes.
And when you attach that level of emotion, I mean, you're drawing it closer to yourself because you're already feeling it, you're already believing it, and you're manifesting.
Yeah.
Happy manifesting.
The soul brought this up. In Hinduism, they have a saying called "Thou art that," right? And what that means is, you are that. That's what it basically means in simple terms. You speak as a divine energy, right? And so you become what you speak. And that's what basically she was saying. And once you speak it and then you embrace it, you become it. And as you become it, the frequency then will start to elevate at that level. And what's happening is as you stay in that frequency, that will start to bring all this stuff is particles, basically, okay? But it will start to form the visual that you believe that you now capable of achieving or having. It will start to form and it will start to come to you. So if you think about this real carefully, everything that you've ever really accomplished or believed that you could have or obtain, it wasn't seen at first, only in your mind's eye.
Right, right.
Once you started to believe that I can actually obtain this, it started to form. And that's what Lady James mentioned about it coming back to you. It's starting to build in pieces. As you're moving forward, it's coming to you. And as it gets closer, more and more pieces are added to it because the belief gets stronger. And now
Right.
you can actually physically see it. It'll start to form in a physical form in front of you. Now you have obtained it because you believed that you were capable of having it. Look, this stuff is not that complicated, but we're in the
Right, it
era
is.
now.
Right. That's so true. It's
We
We're in the
make
so
it
era now where the
complicated.
gate,
it is
yeah,
so
the gatekeepers are starting to move out of they're getting pushed aside to where this information has been stored, and that's what secret societies and cults have had all this time. Remember, a cult is nothing but something with knowledge that's been kept from everybody else. That's all a cult system. The occult actually is something that you know that everybody else don't know. And
Right.
so that's been kept among groups of certain people, right? But now it's open to everybody who wants access to it. But if you're running around, talking about this woo woo and I don't believe that and I just wait, I'm going to wait for God to.
right.
Look, in the Bible itself, it has like 20 something scriptures committed to frequency. But if you don't know what those are, you won't read. Like if you took Luke 8:11 through 21, all that's talking about is frequency. That's frequency. But see, it's coded so you don't understand that and you don't see it because you just read it and you're like, okay, well, all right. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I got it. Then you go work just feeling good for a few minutes. But it's just told you what you needed to do. That's why I say all the time to people, the Bible is not what you think it is. Forget about the allegory part of it. There are coded secrets in between those lines that will help you get to where you want to go. But if you're looking at it as, oh, I'm scared I'm going to hell or something's going to happen to me if I believe it, then you are the woo. Okay, you caught up in the woo stuff yourself. You just don't know it. But once you really understand what it is, it's a tool that's used by multiple people from all over the world, different religions, different organizations use that information, but not in the context of waiting for something to come out of the sky or something of that effect. They're not using it like that. They're using it because they know it's frequency related. And I've already told you 50 times or more on the shows that I've been on, God is female, in case you still running around talking about some old guy sitting on a throne somewhere, passing stuff around. Everything comes from female related. She's the only one that can create. Okay, man can't have a baby. Women do that. So the universe is the same principle. It's created from a perspective of energy or force or whatever it is. It's not male though, because it created Saturn, the moon, Earth, even Mother Earth as we know it.
Oh my God.
All these things are female related. And if you look real closely, most of the planets are female. They named after females, and then they come up with certain, like Saturn, you think that's a man. That's a female. That's a female. So all this stuff, you just don't have the knowledge that you need to utilize the information. But once you understand what it is, now you can tap into it and you start utilizing things the way. Why do you think? Let's say this, then let somebody else jump in. Why do you think you have mega church ministers flying around on private jets now and stuff like that? Because they tapped into this frequency. They're using the information against you. They still got you thinking that somebody's going to punish you for
Right. Right.
something.
Right.
So, once you understand that that's not happening, there's nothing going to punish you except for you.
True,
Right.
Then
true,
you can
true.
understand that you can start utilizing this energy and information to get you where you really want to go. That's how simple it's going to be. But you have to tap into it without fear. You can't be running around still trying to fearmonger everybody else that don't have the same share with you. Oh, it's just a devil. Really, really. Okay, and I'm gonna say this one more time. I want to tell this story one more time. If you look in the Bible and you read the book of Numbers,
Yes.
God. Now, if you read today, they because they're still trying to close the system down. So it depends on what year your Bible is. But if you read it, God tells Moses to build a serpent, to make a serpent.
Mm-hmm.
Now he tells them to build this serpent's head out of copper because copper is a protective metal, right? Now he puts this thing on the top of a stick, the staff, and it's in the form of a serpent. It's a serpent's head.
Yep.
God tells Moses, tell people when they walk by and look at this serpent's head. Remember what I just said? God told Moses to build this. When they look at this serpent's head on this pole, they will live forever by looking at this serpent's head. Today, the Pope, when he makes an appearance and that staff that he has in his hand, if you look real closely, there's a serpent head at the top of that pole. And on your money that you look at in the USA, there's a serpent entangled in the dollar bill. Okay? So you can't still be walking around here, well, I'm just going to, God coming. If he tells you the serpent is wise, and they help, Jesus says so in himself in the Bible itself, if you're going to go that route, that be wise like the serpent.
Serpent.
So
Yes.
now
Right.
if the serpent is so bad and so evil, why are these, which God and Jesus are the same entity, why are they referring you to believe in the serpent that they claiming is so bad?
Right.
Where is that at? See, you have to understand all this stuff is built around frequency, and so if you have to read this to understand it, though, because you're getting misled. It's the
Right.
two main deities in the Bible are telling you that the serpent is, hey, not so bad guy. Look at here, he's gonna save you. And the serpent actually tells Adam and Eve, he tells them, hey, bite the apple and you will be like God. Well, God told him, well, if you bite the apple, I'm going to come back and kill you. But when God comes back, he doesn't kill him. And he gave him a direct threat that if you take a bite out of that apple, I'm killing you. There's not going to be any words. I was just going to show up and you know what's going to happen when I come. But instead, when he comes back, Adam sees him and like runs behind a bush, and God is now calling out, well, Adam, where are you? Where are you hiding, Adam? Now it's his garden, so he's supposed to know where Adam already is. If he knows everything, why is he asking Adam to give himself up?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he never did kill him. He puts him out of the garden. In the end, he tells them, well, you know what? Y'all can't stay here anymore. I don't care. I'm gonna raise the rent. Y'all gotta go. I just gotta go. So he never kills them.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you read even more, when Jesus dies, when he goes to hell for those 3 days that he's supposedly dead, he goes to hell, and guess who he takes out of hell? Adam and Eve.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have to read this stuff to really understand it instead of being told one version of it. It's an allegory, so of course there are different variations of it, and that allegory came from other allegories that were written thousands of years before this allegory's version came to be. So they copied it from other stuff. So if there were books written before the deity of the energy of God was supposed to be speaking, then what does that tell you? That people existed long before God showed up and started talking about, I'm going to send you to hell if you don't believe this or you don't worship me. Or we are in a different time now. We're in a different time, so you
Right.
got to wake up.
Totally different
And,
times.
and, and if you
Yes.
don't wake up, you're going to get left behind. You're going to be, look, there's always going to be versions of religion. That's going to be here until man is not in existence any longer.
Yep.
But what you know about religion will free you. Once you have the right knowledge, now you can see what it actually is and how to utilize it. Once you got that secret, now there's nothing that you can't accomplish in your life because you're not fearful of your shadow, basically. And we talked about this on the previous show, lady, that people are still afraid of their shadow. The dark side of you is good because that's a part of you too. And if you're
Right.
running from it, then you can't collect all the frequency that you need to carry you far, further and farther ahead because you're afraid of you. So
Right.
that's why
True.
you never meet anybody that's worthy of anything because you're running from you. But guess who's going to show up based off of you loving yourself and who you're gonna reflect. You. So you're talking to yourself and you're looking for yourself.
True.
So when you see all this stuff going on, and I know we got a show coming up. I don't want to get too far from what we talk about, but this comes up where we got all this stuff going on between men and women not liking each other and men not worthy of this. And when you show up, it's going to be you. If you have enough self-love and understanding of who you are, that you've embraced your shadow, those people are going to reflect you. So everything that you're running from, your darker side, where you feel weak at, that's what the other person is going to represent as a strength to you. But you got to be able to see that. Because if you're afraid of yourself, you don't want anything to do with that. You're like coming up with all kinds of excuses. Well, you don't even know what questions to ask that person to make it a viable relationship. You can't even get to that part of it because they start reflecting you too much. And you're like, well, I like them, but I can't take them. No.
I want to throw something in, Will. I want to throw something into what you just said. It's not just fear, well, there's something with fear, right? The punishment thing, right? Let's go there first because I'm making my little notes here on what I got to touch back on. All right. But the punishment, right? We're taught that since we're kids, right? If you do this wrong, you're going to get punished. So it's something systemic as well, right? So we learn this since childhood. So then when you throw religion into it, oh my God, I'm going to get punished by God. That's even the greater because it's God, right? Oh my goodness. So then we go into our shadows, right? And here we are, we're taught if you break this and you break that, then now you're going to hell, right? That's next level, right? So now we're taught to judge ourselves.
Yes.
Now we're taught to be scared of embracing our shadows because we're wrong, right?
Yes.
Not realizing that these behaviors and these things that we have to build up because we do have a survival brain. Our brain has created these adaptations throughout our life to be able to survive. Our environment, the people that we're surrounded by and things as such, right? And so I think it's super important what you said because our shadows are not bad, guys. Don't judge yourself. Look at it with love because you'll really get to learn so much about yourself in that time. Please understand that as we live, we create these identities to protect ourselves from what we're going through in that time of our life. Now, what we have to realize is that as we grow and we mature and we change, right? And we change our environment, we change those things. We have to recognize if we're still acting in that time, right? Those things that we adapted to survive, maybe when we were a teenager or early 20s, will not be the same things that we necessarily need to fully embrace at 40, right? And so acknowledging these things and understanding why this shadow is showing itself, right? Don't judge it. Understand that you had to go through that for you to get to where you are now.
Absolutely.
Correct.
And then look at that and see, okay, what part of this still pertains to my present state of living? Right? Does this still apply? And if it doesn't, we have the choice of waking up tomorrow and saying, I'm not using it no more.
Right.
Absolutely.
But I still love you. And I'm told, that's
Let
you
you be
talking to
okay.
yourself. Yeah.
Right.
We're not getting punished. We're not getting judged. Tomorrow you wake up and say, screw everything I did these last 40 years. I'm here today and this is how I'm going to act from now on.
Right.
And guess what? That's it. It's that simple.
That's it. It's done.
And it is
so. It's hard for some people, though.
Right. That is why you have to ask yourself the question, the emotion you're experiencing and where you're at in your life. Asking those questions are super important because as you answer it authentically, then you can say that as rightfully you said, so I'm not doing this anymore because I'm moving in my higher self and this no longer applies to me. So that pattern doesn't fit with you anymore.
And you see, when you start to say that, that's awakening start to happen.
Of course.
Right.
The soul starts to come to that process of awakening. It's waking you up. Yes. Once you start to tell yourself that, that's awakening.
Of course.
That's
because your soul is recognizing.
You're returning to your true essence.
It's not a line anymore.
Your true essence. You're going to your
It's not a line anymore.
No. People
Because
not
you're
going to align
able,
with you.
yeah.
Places is not going to align with you
No, your
anymore.
environment does not align
Conversations
with
is
you.
not going to align with you anymore.
Right.
All of that going to start happening
Because you
you're
live in your
waking
higher
up.
self.
You're
Right.
waking up.
You live in
You're
your
waking
higher self.
And remember, each emotion, guys, each emotion is a frequency.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Say that
Understand that.
again.
Each emotion is a frequency.
Yes.
So it's super important to stay in, the highest frequencies, right? What does that
Yeah.
mean? Usually those higher frequencies are the higher emotions, right? Where we are happy, where there's joy. Gratitude is one of the biggest
Right.
ones. That's why
Yeah.
if you're grateful, it'll
We
help you
always talk
so
about that.
much. So much. Get out
So
of that
much.
depression and get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll even touch on depression. They say it's a chemical imbalance. Well, it sure is. Number one, if you're depressed, most of the time you're staying in that same mindset of dreading every
Mm-hmm.
Right.
single
All the
day of
time.
your life,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're in a very low vibration where it's sadness.
Right.
You're just consistently telling yourself all the bad things. Now, remember, each thought, I mean, if you guys have listened to my other shows that I've done with Lady J and K, then you will know that I always say each thought is connected to an emotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what emits that frequency. So understanding this will help you actually be able to manipulate your mind into changing how you feel. There is a chemical imbalance because biologically what happens is this thought connects to this emotion. That emotion is releasing hormones or biochemicals, neurotransmissions within your body to tell you this is how I feel. So that's producing that feeling consistently, right? To match that, what you're saying is the emotion that you're feeling and the thought. So the biohack behind this, and this takes time, guys, to practice, but if you do it enough, you will get out of your depressive state because you will understand that you're changing the biochemistry in your body. All right, to now release the emotions that oppose this, where the chemical imbalance will no longer exist because now you will be full of positive emotions.
Right.
Therefore, you will annihilate the depression. We have the power to
Absolutely.
do this, but it takes consistency and it takes everything that we're discussing. It takes the journaling, it takes the affirmations, right?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
takes you a biohack. I'll give you guys really quick. And this is, I don't care where you are, if you ever having a really bad thought or really in a bad state of mind and you want to change it, I'll give you a trick. It's called the superpower button. Okay. Now you choose what this is for you, because you can be anywhere in the world. I don't care where you are, and you can be in a room full of people, but nobody has to know that you're doing this. My superpower button is this right here. Something simple, right? But I can do this in a room full of people and nobody knows what's going on. Now, what happens when I do this is my brain knows I need to change my state of mind right now.
Yes.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go to a happy place. Think of the happiest moment in your life. All right. So just think of the happiest moment in your life where you were laughing, where it was so natural. You're having the best time of your life. You're hee-hee-hawing. You feel joy. You feel gratitude. You feel everything. You're feeling amazing. That's the memory I want you to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you train yourself because when you hit this button or whatever yours is, it can be tapping. It can be, guys, whatever your button is to yourself, you make it up. But
Right.
that is an order to your brain to go to that happy memory.
Mm-hmm.
Stay in that happy memory and stay in that happy place until you feel your whole body change. So you stay there in that thought process, because remember, thoughts are connected to emotions. Right now, you're having a bad thought that's connecting to a bad emotion. We're changing it. This is how you manipulate your biochemistry and you manipulate your state of being, guys. Quick biohack. Create a superpower button for yourself. Like I said, mine's is this. Yours can be this. Yours can be a tapping on the leg. Yours can be a tapping. You can go like this. And now you know what you're going to do, right? But create that super memory. Remember that you got to go there. And this will help you. The more you do it, your brain will automatically start releasing the serotonin and all the good and dopamine that you need for you to combat the depressive state or the sad state that you're in, or mad, right? If you're angry and you want to change that, whatever negative feeling you're feeling, you can change it through this biohack. You have the power to do that. We
Yeah.
all have the power to do these things. We need to learn how our body works so we can
Yes.
start manipulating it to our advantage and
Mhm.
start feeling how we actually want to feel, not
Yes.
how something is making us feel.
True.
Right. Big difference. Yeah.
Someone is asking a question.
Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
you bring up being an empath and grounding to stay in one frequency without observing others? I prayed for this and I prayed for this and was connected to you. So I'm happy to learn. I thank you. This is coming from a viewer right now.
Wow.
Yep.
This
Okay.
person want to know how they
Wow.
can you bring up being an empath and grounding to stay in one frequency without observing others?
That's a
Mm.
beautiful question.
Okay. That is a good question. Okay, there's two things that have to happen. I didn't know if I was going first or not on this.
Hey.
I'm gonna see
Take the
something.
floor, whichever one.
All
It's
right.
open.
When you put your attention on something, then that's
Right.
where all of your focus is going to go along with that,
True.
which means your frequency is going to go toward that as well. So all three of you ladies already mentioned this between gratitude,
Hmm.
thankfulness, and being appreciative. If you can put yourself in that state of mind, now you can start to enter that zone. Now in athletics, because all this basically goes around the same stuff. In athletics, when you make a mistake, you're told to forget that mistake so that when you go back out on the field or court or whatever it may be, that now that's not even playing in your memory bank. What you've done and the way you do that is you go back to some action that you participated in that was very good for you, and that makes you forget about that bad play that you just did before that, right? That's how you get yourself back to that level where your confidence is circulate. It comes back really quick. You might be down for a few minutes, but then once you take yourself back to that good space, that's where you are for the rest of the game. And so that's the same thing. It's whatever you have taken you to that bad spot, move that because that's in your subconscious basically telling you that you can't or fear the unknown or whatever else is suggesting to you that you cannot possibly achieve this or you're nothing. That's all your subconscious talks to you, right?
Mhm.
Now, Soul mentioned the brain here. What it does is all everything that you see and all this comes from familiar things that you've seen over the course of your life. It pieces, bits and pieces of things together to make an image. And so it's the same thing with the memory. It's remembering things that were good. And so that's why you see people go in a circle that go backwards and go date somebody who was trash to them, basically. And they'll go back and redate them. And everybody else is around like, how the hell? That's why. Because that person is familiar to them. That energy is familiar to them. So they're comfortable, most comfortable in that setting. So that's why they'll go back to it. And that's why you see people in abusive situations go back to abusive situations because their brain is telling them this is what we're most comfortable with. So let's go back and it's not so bad. And of course, the doubting self self conscious is saying, well, you know what, this is where we belong anyway, so we don't deserve anything better than that. So that's what you have to do is basically move yourself to something that's good. And as you mentioned, Lady K, you have to get there and then maintain it. It's not going to be easy in the beginning because, as you said, it's a process. So as you continue to do it, it gets easier and it becomes your new normal. But once you step into that new normal, now you'll start moving into areas where you'll draw more people to you that's in that frequency. And you'll gradually start to change and hold that energy. And you won't have that same depressive state of mind any longer because now you're in a new setting where people are elevating at the same range that you are, and they will carry you until you're able to. If you stay there long enough to do this, you will get carried at a state of mind where you can maintain that, and now you can start to move yourself forward. So that's my two cents.
My turn. No. I love that, Will. Thank you so much for that.
Okay.
But this goes really deep to me, and I'm going to get into even entities at this point because as an empath, you pick up on a lot, right?
Mhm.
And I always say that if you are an empath, it's super important to make sure that your grounding practice is strong because anything that you pick up, you want to make sure you send back. All right.
Yeah.
So as an empath, what happens is you are able to connect to the frequencies of what's around you, right? And whether that's talking to a person, usually, when people are thinking of empath, they're thinking of connecting to the person and actually feeling what they're feeling, right? And that's very possible, because we're all emitting frequencies. So it's kind of like how he was saying with the transmission of the radios, right? You kind of get on that same frequency with that person. And so you totally tap in, especially if that's a gift you have and and naturally you can do it. It's intuitive, you do feel it. It's very important that you protect yourself as an empath,
Right.
because you don't want to pick up everybody's energy.
True.
And here it goes deeper. So specifically to the empath and grounding, please do ground. And what's next is a little eerie to people, but if you guys want to, I'm proof. Like I deal with this all the time, so it's just something that people are not too comfortable discussing. But what happens is a lot of people are carrying entities around, right? And that is because they don't even realize that they're emitting a certain frequency that this spirit has now connected to, right? If you are picking up energies from other people, you may pick up an entity with it.
Wow.
Right. And so what happens is some souls, there's a lot of lost souls on this earth, right? They don't even know they're dead. That's just what it is. And so they're trapped. Excuse me?
Could you repeat that the last part you just said one more time?
Yes, sir. There's a lot of lost souls on this earth that don't even know they are dead. Okay. A lot of spirits don't even know that they are dead. They are roaming, stuck in that cycle. But what they are aware of is the last emotion that they were feeling.
Yes.
Okay. And so what happens is that's what they also stick to what's familiar. So if you are vibrating at a frequency that they are familiar with, they will attach to you just like that. And sometimes what happens is, if they were depressed or they were, in that type of state of mind, or, what can happen to you is you'll start having thoughts that are not normal for you. They're not yours. They're this entity's. You will start having cravings that are not yours. They're this entity's. You'll all of a sudden get a whiff of something that you're like, that's not even around here. Right. It's their memory. That's how strong these things are. And a lot of us don't want to hear it. In the religious world, people say, oh, they're casting out demons. I don't say that because I've dealt with demons, but a lot of these are not demons. They're just lost souls.
Yes.
And so I a lot of the religious side will go like, oh, it's all demons. They're stuck to you. No, it's not that.
Everything is a demon. Yeah.
Yeah, everything's a damn demon. It's not demons, guys. It's lost souls. Like, damn it. It's not that serious. Right. And I say this because part of my gift is to help those souls reach the light. It's just part of what I do. So I'm very connected when it comes to that, and I didn't even know that was my gift, but hey, you live and you learn.
You have evolved.
Yeah, I sure have. But what it does is, like, almost, I would say 85% of my Reiki sessions, I have had to remove entities. And a lot of people are not comfortable when you hear this. They're like, oh my God, you're a witch.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Right. I actually had somebody that was going over, right, that I was trying to help me with my website, right? And I put entity removal. They're like, that sounds like an exorcism, soul. I'm like, well, I don't know how to say it. It's an entity removal. But it's like, in my world, it's normal to me because I see it all the time and I know what I'm looking for, and it's just what happens, right? But understand this, guys. Same thing we're talking about. It's frequencies. It's all frequencies. If you're vibrating at a low frequency, right, and you have these types of thoughts and stuff, it's easier for these entities to attach to you. So just please be aware of these things. And if you feel something like that, don't get scared, right? Just call me up. I got you, man.
Yes, you guys, I know that for sure. Yeah. Everything you just said there, Saul, it is so true.
Yeah.
And that is why You cannot understand. Some people just really cannot understand because they're not there as yet.
They're not there yet.
They
You have
really
to come
can't
to the
understand.
awareness.
And do not judge what you don't understand.
Right.
Do
Right.
not judge what you don't understand, because
Right.
when you really understand everything that is happening around you,
Right.
then you really understand yourself.
Right.
Because I really want to touch on something that Will said about snake. Let's go to nature. Let's look at a snake.
My
There
favorite
comes a
pet.
time, there comes a time in a snake's life, right? It sheds.
Yes.
Of
It
course.
shed that
Change
old
the skin.
skin. But when that snake shed that skin, it's not looking back for that skin any longer.
Left behind.
Right.
That skin is left behind. So when we are going through the process of shedding, we need to shed so we can see the light. And then we need to understand, as Saul rightfully said there, so there are entities that is out there that normally attach to you because you're on that frequency.
Right.
And when you're on, especially on the lower frequency, they're looking for that, and they attach to you. The thoughts that you're having, it's not your thoughts.
Right.
Many times you
ask the
think, but
question.
why am I thinking these things? This is not me.
Right.
You
Right.
keep asking yourself these type of stuff, because it is not you. It is not
Mhm.
you. That is not
Mhm.
you. So we got, especially when we're empath, we really have to be careful.
Yes.
We have, and as Saul rightfully said, you gotta stay grounded, centered, and balanced. It is super
That's
important
important.
every day when you wake up. Grounded, centered, and balanced. Because if you leave yourself open, there's so many things that can happen.
Yes.
So many things can happen. That is why you really gotta take charge of yourself before you start your day.
Of course. Your
And when you
routine.
end your day, you send back energies, especially if you're having conversations with people, send back
So many
energies
people.
that you don't really want in your life.
Right.
Mhm.
You got to get rid of those energies because you don't want to hold on, because especially empath, we feel those energies.
Everything.
And you don't want to be carrying around those energies with you. You need to really release these type of energies before you really go to sleep.
Yes.
That is why sometimes you find that certain people, when you're having, I'm going back to what we said before, when you're having a conversation, you kind of cringe. You feel this energy is not for you. So when you come off these conversations, you got to release those type of energies, because you don't really want those energies to be with you all the time. That is why sometimes when you're having a conversation with somebody, and then when you come out from that conversation, you feel so heavy. You feel drained, you feel so drained because they come now to draw your energy.
Energy vampires. That's what I call them.
They are drawing your energy.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why you have to have a ground. And as Saul said, you got to ground yourself, and you got to be self-aware. That is why if you realize a conversation is not for you, it's okay to excuse yourself.
Absolutely.
You do not have to entertain that conversation because your soul don't want a type of conversation.
Right.
You could excuse yourself.
Yep.
I'm not going to have this conversation today with you, and just excuse yourself from the come. Or if, as Saul said, the phone ring, you don't have to pick the phone up.
Right.
You don't have to pick it up. You don't have to reply to a message, because many times people send people negative messages.
Yep.
You don't have to respond because that message is an energy.
Right.
That person is releasing the energy to you.
Pause before
you don't have
respond.
to answer that message.
Yep.
You don't have to answer that message.
Pause.
Don't get yourself entangled into those type of frequency, especially when you're living on a higher frequency, and those lower messages come into you that is totally negative. You do not have to respond because you're self-aware.
Right.
Don't go there. Do not go there to those messages. Or if you go there, respond with something that is higher.
Love.
Don't be lower. Respond with something that is higher. Respond with something that is in your alignment and your true element. Respond with that. Right, Lady J?
You know, that is why mindset is so important,
Yeah, it is. It is.
because mindset is important, exposing yourself to new skills,
Mhm.
living your highest self. Because when you are living on that level of elevation, then you act in a different way.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
choose what is choosing
Then
you.
you. Love that, Lady J.
So you know, the level that when the negative comes in, you say to yourself, I'm choosing not to respond to that, because that is not me. I'm not aligned with that, because you're moving. And so that is why it is super important, as we had so many different guests on different shows which talk about self-awareness, self-discovery, reflection. Because when you do all of that work for yourself, you empower yourself, you've grown. So when you've grown to the level of maturity, you know you're moving on a different level. You make better choices. You're not engaging in certain things
Absolutely.
because it does not align with you. You know who you are.
Yes.
And when you know who you are, then you make the better choice. Maybe
Absolutely.
before, prior, before you didn't do all that work, all that self discovery, doing all that reflection and moving in your inner self, then you might have been be doing things differently. But as you elevate and as you move in those spaces and you understand truly who you are, you're leaning into your inner self, leaning into your inner wisdom, you're moving in a different frequency, your vibration is different, then you move accordingly. So you don't let those things affect you anymore, because you are moving in your higher self. You're living in your higher self.
There is something I want to touch on that just came to mind. You know,
Okay.
each one of us, we are born at a different time, different month, different year, right? We need to step back and really analyze our birth month, because our birth month, we really get to understand ourselves on a deeper level as well.
Great.
The time that you were born, you really get to understand yourself on a deeper level.
Talk about the.
All these things are the season to the sauce,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And many times people say, oh, I don't believe in astrology, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in that. It's
Mhm.
part of you. That is why you chose to born that particular time, that particular
Yeah.
month, that particular family. You
Mm-hmm.
chose all of that.
Yep.
All of that, you chose it. Your soul wants to experience this family. Is either to heal somebody in the family or the family to heal you. Am I correct, soul?
You're
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Sorry,
You
bro. I
guys can
stepped in
do the
there.
free natal. You guys can do natal charts, for free, and that'll require all of that, and it'll give you great insight into everything you're saying, Lady K. So I recommend you try your natal charts. Check out. There's a few sites that actually do them for free, but it'll give you great insight into yourself
Yes.
and small things that you should definitely look out for.
True, true. Because sometimes you find a person born a particular month, they may behave in a particular way, but people don't understand why this person is behaving in a
Right.
particular way.
Right.
Mhm.
But each month, for instance, like November is transformation,
Mm.
you know, and the seasons that we go through in life, nature, check your month.
Right.
Spring, autumn, winter, all these things are attached to the month that you was born. Summer, all these things are attached to the month that you were born. So you need to really take an introspection of your life. It is super important that we do this to really understand ourselves and understand others as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. You touch on something which which came in early today, because I was thinking about one of the discussion, and maybe can have a panel discussion with Will, Soul, and many other people to talk about season. And I think that's just a confirmation, not only season in the year or the timing, but season in our lives. But
Yes.
when we're going through season, when there is a moment that our season is ended, whether it's a relationship, whether it's
Yes.
your job, how do we handle those seasons? Right, when we know it's coming to a conclusion, whether it's a job or a relationship or whatever that season is for you personally,
Mm-hmm.
how do you handle those seasons?
True.
I mean, because there is a way how you can handle it in so many different ways. And that is a topic gonna be that we're gonna talk about, and we're gonna get a group of people, Soul and Will, and I'm thinking Dr. Marcy, because she talks about leadership, and so many other people we can bring and have a discussion. How do you handle seasons in your life?
Yeah.
Because that is super, because depends how you handle that season as you close the season out. It depends how you can handle to move into your next,
Right.
whatever that next may be for you. But how
Yes.
you close that season, bitter, joy, fun, or you handle the season that you handle it in a way that this season gave me all that I need to get to have in this moment. And so I'm going to take all the experience, the bad and the good and everything, and then I'm going to move into my next season with a level of beauty, for a level of transformation. And so that came to mind today. So it's amazing that you talk about season. And so I think that is a next show we're going to do, talk about seasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do you handle it?
So,
I wanted to throw something else in there, something
Throw
that
it.
Jay said. Of course, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to just say to you guys, like, a lot of us do people please, and we're also nurturers, and we
Mm-hmm.
think that we have to help the world, right, in ways that sometimes don't necessarily abide by setting boundaries, right? And I just
Mm-hmm.
want to, tell everybody, like, please understand that it is important to set boundaries, and it doesn't matter if it's family, friends, or who
True.
you're used to talking to. Don't allow people to guilt trip you or make you feel guilty for
Mm-hmm.
protecting your peace, because only you are in charge of your
Wow.
life.
That is
And
so important.
yeah, absolutely. Only you know what you want and will allow in it, right? And I know, personally, for me, one of the most difficult things was for me letting go of a lot of people. I'm always trying to help everybody, and I want everybody to get up. Like, if I did good, I want you to do better, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I was always like that. But what I realized is these same people that you cringe for, these same people that are vampire energy, energy vampires, are the same people that will drag you down and lower your frequency. So I really want you guys to take that with you and understand that it is so important to set boundaries for yourself, for you to be able to achieve, your goal and getting to your highest self. It is so important for you to set those boundaries and say, nope, I'm not answering this phone call. Nope, I'm not doing this. Nope, I don't have to do this. People need to be accountable for their own life, and they need to get there on their own. And sometimes we're trying to help somebody see something that they're not even ready to see. So
True.
here
That's
we
so
are
true.
draining ourselves trying to help them grow, and we're over here sucking ourselves down for them, and they're not even prepared for it.
they're not ready.
So please be aware of that. And at least I know we're coming to the end of the show. So I just want to throw one more thing out there for everybody. Guys, you guys can heal while you sleep. All right. And I'm going to tell you how. We are asleep for 6 to 8 hours a night. Okay. YouTube has frequencies on everything. Okay, so please try this for yourself. It's especially for those people that tell me that they can't meditate. I make them do this all the time, and it really helps them get to a better place where they do actually eventually have the capability of quieting their mind and meditating, because these frequencies they're causing an effect within your body. Remember, we're 72 to 76% water. So these sounds are doing something in the water within your body, which is actually helping you heal. And this is how it works. This is why sound works. Okay. So look at YouTube before you go to sleep. If you're feeling worried that night, if you're feeling anxious, if you're having negative thoughts or anything like that, please go on YouTube, put sleep meditation for whatever you're going through that day, right? Just positive thoughts. Or you want to clean your auras, right? Put aura cleansing, frequencies for sleep meditation. While you're sleeping, they even have the black screen. So if you put it on your TV, and you don't want to be bothered by the light, don't worry. Put the black screen one on. All right. It'll black out your screen and the frequencies will still be playing. First of all, you'll have the best sleep of your life. All right. Number one. Number two, you are healing those things that you need healing in as you're sleeping.
Yes.
Frequencies are so powerful. I have all of my cancer patients doing it. Okay. Because there is a frequency that has DNA repair regeneration powers. Okay. All frequencies, guys. This is how powerful they are. This is how powerful they are. And people are not realizing it's these things that can really transform our life and help us get to next level. It's not all about taking pills. We are energy beings. And so we need to heal in that same format by receiving the correct frequencies that are actually going to help elevate the cells to the frequency that they need to be at so they can operate as a healthy cell is supposed to. That's me summing it up.
Wow. Wow. Amazing soul. Amazing.
Thank
wow.
you.
Well,
You're serving us really well because those things are super, super important to understand and to learn how we can heal ourselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She was really good. She was on point too.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
she
you.
is.
Thank you.
For people that are religious, Thessalonians 5:2 says that humans are spirit. And that's basically what soul just telling you, that you are frequency, but you're a spirit too, which is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And so once you understand that, your whole life can change, because once you start understanding that you're not going to see everything. And it's the unseen that you don't understand, that think is not pure, because you can't see it, and because you've sort of been misled from the religious perspective of this thing. But once you really get a true understanding, now you know that there's another world that exists that you don't see, that you can't see, but you can peer into it from time to time. And if you tap into your frequencies at the right time, you can see things or experience things that you think are impossible, that are very much possible and that's happening. But you are not tapped in to where you can experience it. But if you ever do get tapped in and you get to experience it, you might not be able to share it with anybody else because they haven't gone through it and they don't know what it is. And so you can't explain it in detail to them to where they get comfortable with it. And a lot of times you scare people when you start talking to them about that. It's not so much what you're telling them, it's that it puts fear in them, because they think that at that point, something's got to be wrong with you.
Right.
This can't possibly be happening. If it happened to you, why didn't it, why not me? But that nobody knows why that's like that. When you go through an enlightened spirit, everybody has access to it, because as I just told you, your Bible tells you that you're a spirit. Once you understand that and know that this physical form that you're in is just skin, and you see it in everything that you see, movies, cartoons, animations, no matter what it is, it shows you that, but you don't want to believe that, because you're like, they got a heck of an imagination. I wish we could do that. You actually can, but you're just not at the level where you can experience it. I'm not talking about the crazy kind of stuff. You can't experience that because we've been so capped that we can't get to that point where you can actually do those things. But some of the stuff that they're doing, you are capable of doing. That's why we're talking about the frequency now, because even though we're not in the same studio, we're in the same energy field. So we can kind of do what Joan and Lady K does all the time. They one spirit. When you're talking to them, you're talking to one person. So as you saw a couple of times during the show, they were bouncing off of each other, and you kind of like, okay, well, who's one of us going to speak? Because but that's in the physical form. Spiritually, they were on one accord, but we were watching it play out in the physical form, where physically their bodies were telling them, well, you know what, she needs to say this first. But otherwise, and you saw them being cordial enough to do that. They're like, okay, you go ahead and say what you're going to say. But spiritually, they were talking. Whatever one of them was saying at that time, that's what both of them were actually thinking.
Right.
So
Yes.
it's
So
just
right, Will.
once you fully tap into it, it will open doors for you that you don't think are possible for you. And that's what this show was done about tonight, to get you to see the possibility, understand. So explained it to you in full detail. You can't get it any deeper than
Then,
that. And then we took it to the spiritual level and went, religious on you too. But she tore back the covers to let you inside of how it actually all happened. So if you contact this lady and want to know more about this stuff,
yeah,
you can
please
do that.
do
And
contact
you
her.
should. Yeah, you should. I get,
Mhm.
it'd be well worth your time, your energy, and the money
Mhm.
that you spend to do it.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
going to be well worth it. And
And money is energy.
Money
well,
is
yeah,
energy, but see,
yeah,
people
it,
gotta
it is.
understand the
It is.
value, right? People gotta
It
Right.
is.
understand the value, because they'll say they have no money, but they'll go spend $300 on some sneakers. You
Yeah.
know, so what's
You
more
get nothing
important,
out of
those
that.
sneakers or your healing? Like,
Yeah.
think
Right.
about
Yeah. And you know,
By long term. Go ahead.
the other beautiful thing too, is that when we made this conscious decision, we always got to remember we are healing our bloodline.
right.
Of course.
When we make this conscious
Good point.
decision,
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
thank you, Lady J.
Yeah.
When we make this conscious decision,
Mm-hmm.
we are healing our bloodline.
Yes.
You know, that is why we are placed in a particular family because we know that we can do the work to help that
Mm-hmm.
family out.
Mm-hmm.
So we do that healing
Yeah.
so we can help the ancestors, the generation, and the ones to come.
Right.
We're doing the work for the ones to come.
There you go.
That's
I was
the
about
work
to
we
say
are
that
putting
behind.
in
Yes.
for the ones to come. And
Exactly.
once we make that conscious decision, I am going to do this because I am doing this for the future generation who is going to come after me.
Yes.
I'm going to stand up. I'm going to make that choice now that I'm going to heal myself so that my little nieces, my nephews, my aunts, my whoever is going to come after you, they are going to heal as well. So
Right.
it starts with us.
I
So
Right.
love.
tonight, if you didn't walk away with anything, just remember, when you make that decision to heal, you're healing your bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you said that, Lady K. There's so many of us, especially as women. I gotta throw this in there because I
Throw it
told you I
in
Come on,
there,
can't
throw
girl.
it
stop.
in.
We
I'll
love
Throw it
it.
smoke
in.
you guys because you guys are just throwing jewels out here. So I'm like, yes, yes, wait. But so many, especially as women, right? We've been quieted, right? We've
Mm-hmm.
been shut down, and we have our throat chakras blocked because of it. And
Mm-hmm.
it goes ancestral. Most of us, carry, and guys, this can be scientifically proven. They have done scientific experiments on this, on how it goes back into our bloodline, at least 7 generations back, they say. I've gone far back as 9. All right. I
Yes.
mean, thus far with my work and what I've had to help people heal, right? But especially our throat chakra as women, we have been silenced,
Right.
right? When men
Right.
took over after we were first in charge. So, Will, you do have a point. We were.
You're right.
But
So
then men
that's the
took
era
over
we're in
for
right now.
control, right? Let's get into the
Right.
real
Right.
history.
Right.
Right. Right. Then men took over for control. This nonsense came and we were silenced. And then, over the years, how many of us have been abused, raped, molested, right?
Yes.
And then we were silenced about that. Oh, you keep this in the family, or you don't talk about this,
Yes.
or outside, right? No, screw that.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to speak up. It is time to heal this crap, right? And it is time to
Yes.
stop the nonsense because it is up to us. It is time to heal ourselves because only through there can we go back and not only heal our highest self, heal our mother's highest self, and keep going back
Yes.
into that line as we go back, go into each one and heal their highest self. Once that bloodline gets healed, you will see the difference in your life first.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll see it play out in your future bloodlines.
Yes.
And it is a beautiful thing to encounter.
Yes.
It is truly so, Lady K, I'm so glad that you said that
Yeah,
because
I had
Right.
to
it's
say
super
that.
That is so
Yeah,
beautiful.
I
Beautiful,
had to
beautiful,
say it.
beautiful.
Yeah, I had to say that because, you know, we we don't But you cannot do what you don't understand,
No, you can't.
But when you come into this space here, we are raw.
I know.
We are raw.
And Robert, it's real talk.
It's real talk. Yeah, it
It's
is,
real
Lady J.
talk.
It's real talk because
real
you
talk.
need to know the truth.
Right.
It's real talk.
You need to know if you don't accept the truth and know the truth, how can you move forward?
Right.
Right.
You're going to keep going around in circles all the time, and then you keep saying, this is not working. I don't understand what's happening to me. You got to sit, do introspection, understand yourself. Right. And once you can come to that level of awareness, you can able to understand what's happening around you. And what's happening around you, you have the ability to change it from inward.
Right. What
you
are you
can
choosing?
change it from inward, and you're going to see the outer start to change. It all starts within here. Right. Here is a sanctuary in here. This is a sanctuary.
What
and
are you
once
choosing?
you clean up this sanctuary, you're going to see the whole outside start to shift. And that shift could be really massive. Yeah. It is a massive shift. Once you make that conscious decision to clean up in here, outside start to clean. People, as I said before, people start to walk away. You may be in a job. Okay. That job doesn't resonate with you anymore. You start to shift from that job to something else. You start to think differently. Sometimes what you used to do before, you said, oh, you know what? I don't want to do this job anymore. This is not within my scope of practice anymore. I'm going to change job. So you change your job description. All these things start to happen when you're on an evolution cycle. All these things start to happen within your life. And you know what? It's your life. Your evolution, it's your life. It has nothing to do with nobody. So don't make somebody come and say to you, girl, you know what you're doing? Or mister, you know what you're doing? It has nothing to do with nobody. It's your soul evolution. Your soul wants to evolve into this type of whatever it is that you're going to evolve in. It's your soul. It has nothing to do with nobody.
You are awakened. The awakening has taken place.
It's just the truth. It is the truth. And until we learn to accept the truth, that's the only way we could evolve and move forward. We got to learn to accept the truth. It's nothing but the truth.
That takes time, though.
You know, the beautiful thing is that nature teaches us so much.
Yeah.
Right. When you look at nature, you understand yourself so much in depth. You understand who you are when you look around you, when you see nature, you see the trees, you see the clouds, you see the rain, you see the sun. It tells you so much about life. But you know what? We don't even stop. We don't even pause to recognize all of these things. I just give the example with a snake. You know, look, the caterpillar, that's another example. You know, the caterpillar don't cry out to go through that form of transformation. The caterpillar knows in order to fly, I gotta go through this transformation. Right. So if you want to fly, you gotta go through those transformation. But you know what? A lot of times we become so complacent and we become into that space where we complain all the time. Right. Instead of we go inward, we keep complaining all the time to get sympathy. We gotta come out from that sympathy mentality. If you want to evolve, you gotta come out from that sympathy mentality because it all starts with you. Right. If you're looking to evolve, it has nothing to do with nobody else. It starts with you. Because if you want to stay on that frequency of complaining all the time, complaining, gossiping, you're going to remain on that frequency. Right. Because the people who you're gossiping with, those are mirrors of yourself. Those are the mirrors you are reflecting. It's all reflection happening all the time. So you know what? If you keep reflecting in those mirrors, you can't come out. You got to make that conscious choice to come out from that cycle. If you want to stay in the cycle, it's okay. But if you want to come out from that cycle, you got to change. You got to change our frequency. You got to change things up, right, Lady J?
that is why mindset is such a key role. Because when you shift your mindset and move from
Yeah.
a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, then you are giving yourself a chance to elevate, to level up, to rise, to look at things from a new point, different insights, new perspectives, so you can see things from a broader spectrum. And then you start to decide, how do I want to live? How do I want to show up? And as the discussion tonight was such a great discussion and was so deep, because both Soul and Will really dived very deep into the subject. Will brought the spiritual aspect and more, and then Soul dived deep into the scientific aspect and more, and help us all to understand. You both serve us so well, because you help us to understand, how do we want to live life? How do we want to show up? Do we want to move in the lower energy, where we're not able to give of ourselves, or are we want to move higher and live our true authentic self, that we can go and as receive and aspire and get everything? Like Saul, when you spoke about journaling and go into all the
Yeah.
detail, and don't think about it cost or nothing, because that is not about it.
Yeah.
Right.
What you feel, what you desire, what your soul is wanting
Mhm.
or need, then you just write it out, whatever it may be, and feel the feelings of that. Attach that level of emotion to it. Get
Mhm.
excited about it, because when you can live from that end and feel that level of feeling of, what is it for me to have this? If it's a house you're looking for, whatever is a job, whatever it may be for you, because each is own, and you write that out and you give it life every day, and you see what is it that how it makes you feel, because as you write, there is an emotion of joy attached to it. So tonight, whatever is it you're thinking, move in the level of abundance. Let scarcity behind and write abundance, whatever is it, because we are in the month of June or July, the seventh month. How do you want to close 2025? You want to move in the level of high frequency, great energy, so that you can say, okay, I have X amount left in this year. I want to close strong. And listen to the show tonight. I want to embody all of that, because this is going to be the new me, or the one who's moved into the level of evolution and moving in a different trajectory. And you look at your goals and see which you can really attach that level of emotion to. And you start writing. Set those morning routines. So you spoke about cleaning the aura, your nightly, your meditation, whatever is it, because how can you change things up a bit? Because you're doing the same thing in the same old
So
way, and you're
true.
not getting results. You feel
Mhm.
stuck. Tonight, you can start anew. Tonight, you can make that shift, and you can pivot, and you can do something differently. And as Will and Soul spoke tonight, go with him. Lean into your intuition, your inner wisdom, and see what is it that you really would like to achieve for yourself. And start writing, start recreating your inner dialogue, so that you can live your best, be your best, and enjoy the level of joy that you so desire for yourself. And nourish and nurture yourself, because nourishing yourself is super important, so you can have the level of vitality that when you create all of this and you're writing all of this down and you're touching that level of emotion, you can be strong enough to really enjoy it. So, Saul, and Will, you served us very, very well. It was a true joy.
It
So, don't
was.
forget to connect with Will, connect with Soul, so that you can get more, continue more conversation, how you can really raise that level of frequency and move in the level with a high vibration, because how you show up, it depends on how
Yeah.
people will receive you, and give them the level of experience of joy when they experience you.
True. True. And to the viewers out there, we just want to thank you so much for tuning in today. This was a very interesting
Yeah,
conversation,
it was.
you know, and it It's to help you. We have these conversations is to help you as an individual, because many times we are at that crossroads, you know, and we really don't know which direction to go.
Right.
But when you come into enrichment of mind, body, and soul, or soul, light, and body, or the other platforms that we normally host, you know, there is something that you can take away. And if you know an individual who can benefit from a podcast like this, we highly recommend that you share this podcast with them.
Right.
You know, because it's all about helping someone. You may know someone who is really down in that valley right now, and they're just looking for that word, you know, because many times it's just a word, you know, or a sentence
Right.
can click that light bulb on, you know. And sharing our podcast, it helps a lot of people, because we get a lot of feedback from people, you know, because people always would send us these messages and let us know, you know, that you guys are doing a great job, and these podcasts that you normally host, it's really helping people. And you know, we are so grateful that we listened to the call and we started these podcasts, because we are here to help. It's all about helping humanity, and it's about helping a soul to evolve, because the soul needs to evolve. And many times we need to ask ourselves, you know, are you allowing yourself to exist fully? You know, we need to ask ourselves that question. Are you really allowing yourself to exist fully? Because many times we are stifling ourselves. We are stifling ourselves. Our soul is crying out to us, and we are just stifling ourselves. It's time to look inward. It's time to really understand your energy. It's time for you to understand your frequency. It's time for you to understand your worth. It's time for you to understand your presence here in this world. You're here for a particular reason. You're not here by chance. You are here for a particular reason. Understand your presence here. It's unique. Your frequency is so unique. And once you can understand that frequency, you're able to amplify your truth. And your truth, it could be writing a book, it could be starting a podcast, it could be in an environment where you can raise women up, you can raise men up, you can raise people up from whatever they're going through. It's amplifying your truth. Because when you heal, you amplify your truth, you know. So this evening, when you walk away from this podcast, just sit a few minutes with yourself. And it's okay to ask yourself questions. Give yourself the permission to ask yourself questions. It's quite okay. It's okay. Because many times we're even afraid to ask ourselves questions. It's okay to sit in silence. Many times we are afraid of silence. It's okay to sit in silence. Sit with yourself. Process those emotions, as we said before. If you gotta cry, you gotta scream, you got whatever it is, if you gotta hold a pillow to your face and scream, it's okay for you to do that. It's only you alone know how you are feeling.
Right.
Many times people don't understand how you are feeling. Only you alone know how you're feeling. And it's okay. It's quite okay for you to process that emotion, because you know what? When you process that emotion, you are able to experience a magnetic frequency that is going to lead you to the right type of people. If you're looking to further that healing, it's going to connect you with the right type of people to take you through that process of healing, you know. So this evening here, this was such an amazing conversation. It was an amazing, as Bill would say, we really reached the subconscious mind. And if one person could walk away this evening and being touched, it's a good job. And we know a lot of people is going to be touched. You know, there are a lot of people who are CEOs and different positions people are holding. They are going through a lot of stuff.
Right. Of course.
Behind closed doors.
Yes.
They're going through a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. But you know what? It's okay to be vulnerable. Grab yourself a coach, and not any type of coach, the right type of coach who
That's to
is going to
help you.
ask you the right questions to
Mm-hmm.
help you to process those feelings and those emotions and to lead you to that life of alignment. And you could live whole. So, you know what? We just want to thank each and
Yeah.
every one of you for joining us this evening. It's always great to come into this space because the energy, the vibration, the frequency is great, you know. And when we toss around these frequencies, it's truly amazing. It is
Yeah.
truly amazing.
Good conversation.
You know, Saul, we want to thank because we know you was at work and you rushed home just to be here
We
with
so
us.
appreciate
We
it.
appreciate you doing it, you know, to just coming. And I really want to thank you that the day that we had, myself and you, we had that lunch, it was truly amazing.
Yes, it
It's
was.
It was
beautiful.
truly amazing when we had lunch. You know, we even called Lady J on the phone, and we had a trip. She was having her lunch, and me and Saul was having lunch
Yeah,
in the
yeah. It
presence
was
of each
beautiful.
other. You know, it's truly
Beautiful.
amazing when you can do things like that.
Yeah, yeah,
When you
yeah.
can enjoy each other's frequency, it's
Yeah,
really
yeah. It's
amazing.
beautiful. It's really, really is.
This new week coming, call up a friend who you resonate with. You
Have
know, and
lunch, have
you
tea.
guys could have a you guys could have a visual lunch. It's
Right.
okay.
Yeah, do
Or have a
something
Yeah.
visual
fun.
cup of coffee. You know,
Have fun.
we gotta start to change things up.
And lifting
You
each
know,
other up. Let's lift each other
absolutely,
up.
absolutely,
Calling, checking a
absolutely.
friend. You haven't heard from someone a long time. How you
Exactly. Just
doing?
check in because you really don't know what people are processing. You just
Not the ones that
Checking,
make you cringe,
checking.
though.
what you say? What you say, Paul?
I said not the ones that make you cringe, though.
No, 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 no. We're not doing crunching.
Yeah. Yeah, but and you know, it's a nice thing when we can show love to each other and
Yeah, yeah,
uplift each other, share
yeah.
great moments together, whether we are doing it personally via phone or just doing video, whatever. It's really good when we can share those energy because we
Yes,
uplift each other, we support each other in whatever areas we each are working on, and that's how we can make a difference in the
yes,
world. I just
yes,
want to give a shout out to Razi, you know, because if you're looking to write your book and getting it published and stuff like that, you know, just contact Razi because she's truly amazing. She's helped us to get our book published as well. So we just want to, Karen, I just want to give her a big shout out.
yes.
She's truly amazing, great inspirational person, and she will support you. She will guide you through the process. So we just want to give her a shout out in this moment.
And also information is in the notes, and also will information is in the notes below. You can contact them, have a
Mhm.
discussion with them. Myself and Joan information as well as in the footnotes below. So you know what? We are just here to help each other. That is what the purpose we are here for.
Yeah.
Whatever level you're at, you can make that conscious choice to make that change. Whatever level you're at right now, it's only you. It's all you. It's
And you're
all you.
special.
It's all you. So again, we just want to thank you so much. And don't forget to check out 246 Bajan Vibes Family. The classified assets in the notes below. They got some nice goods and services. Just check them out. And also don't forget to subscribe to Soul Light and Body YouTube channel because you will never miss none of these episodes. We are here every week just for you. We are here for you. We are here to help you to evolve. This is a part of evolution. Because when you step into this space, it's evolution happening.
Right.
Once you tune in to Soul, Light, and Body YouTube channel, evolution starts.
Yes.
It's
Great
evolution,
guess.
you know?
Different topics.
Exactly. So we just want to thank Will and Saul again for showing up in this space and just enriching us every time you guys come here. It's really, 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 really great. And we just
Mhm.
want to thank you for your time because we know your time is precious. So we just want to thank you so much for showing up here. We love you guys and continue
True
to
joy.
do the great work that both of you are doing. And to the viewers, just continue to work on yourself.
Mhm.
Nothing is ever too much. If you know you can't do it on your own, grab yourself a coach who is going to help you through the
Right.
process. Grab yourself a coach. Sometimes you might say, I don't have enough money. Work some strategy out with the coach. You know, if you got to do installments, just work some strategy out
Don't
because
let
you
pride
work
get
it.
into the way.
I know, right? You're worth it. You're worth all of
Right.
it.
You
So just
are.
do it for you. Do it for you. We love you guys, and we're going to be here next week in another fabulous topic. Stay tuned. Have a fabulous week.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you, Cheryl. Well,
Oh
have a
my
great
God.
week
Thank
ahead of
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.